Very welcome everybody to this event on the investing in Italy manufacturing sector. Today with us there is Marco Taish that will introduce the event. Marco is the Chief Scientist of the World Manufacturing Foundation, and thanks to be here today, and I leave the stage for his speech.
Good morning everybody and welcome to the World Manufacturing Forum. This is an international event which is running for many years. We know that manufacturing is relevant for the global economies. Manufacturing is for sure the most important peacekeeper, because it's providing jobs, it's providing innovation, it's providing R&Ds, and all the statistics are saying that thanks to manufacturing we are creating a better world. There are of course some trends, there are of course some challenges that we are facing in the near future. One is the ecological transition. The second one is the digital transition, and these are exactly the topic that we are addressing this year at the World Manufacturing Forum. The title is Digitally Enabled Circular Manufacturing, and as you can see from the title, the two trends are addressed by the topic this year. But why manufacturing, and why we are very happy to host the event this morning is because Italy is definitely one of the most important countries from the manufacturing perspective. The share of the global added value from Italy to the manufacturing sector is still very high. We are 6 or 7, depending on how you count and depend on the statistics. And what is happening and what we are seeing from our experience, from our analysis that we are conducting recently, the increase of the manufacturing share and increase of the services added value related to manufacturing are going to increase. And this of course is a reason, a strong reason to invest in Italy, or to increase the investment in Italy. We are also observing a very important phenomenon, which is the reshoring, or the nearshoring as people would like to call it. We have been facing recently the lockdown in many countries all over the world. The pandemic has broken a lot of supply chains. We have been talking about the resiliency of the supply chain. Now, the most important, let me say, the hot topic which was addressed by practitioner, by expert, by entrepreneur, by companies in the last 12 months. How to work resiliency? One way is to invest close to the market, and considering that Italy is a strong market, we should invest in Italy. A lot of Italian companies are reshoring their factories, are reshoring their production because they want to be close to the market, and for this reason, my invitation to you is to also consider to invest in the country. The Italian Next Generation EU program, or implementation of this program in Italy is very important. As you know, we got the highest investment from the European Commission, and let me say, from my perspective as a scientist, all the projects that we have seen are very important. There are a lot of investment on the public administration. There are a lot of investment on creating a better and stronger ecosystem for manufacturing, for industry. So that's something that I think is worth to be considered by all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marco. There couldn't be a better presentation to our event today. Before getting in the contents, with us there is Massimiliano Iacchini, that is the head of the Office for Foreign Investment in Italy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Massimiliano, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. I would like first of all to thank the organizers of the World Manufacturing Forum, and I would like to thank Marco Taish, Scientific Chairman of the Foundation World Manufacturing Forum, to be here with us, and all the team of the Italian Trade Agency and the integrated team of Investing in Italy for this important workshop dedicated to investments in the manufacturing sector. luckily this year we have an hybrid event, going back to normalcy, hopefully. And we believe that this is very important. The topic of today's meeting, of course, is investment opportunities in the manufacturing sector, and we will have several regions of Italy presenting their set of opportunities to prospective investors. And we know very well that the manufacturing industry, as Mr. Taish mentioned before, is very important to Italy. Italy is the second largest manufacturing country in Europe, and one of the among the fifth biggest manufacturing countries in the world. This year, the World Manufacturing Forum focuses, as it was said before, in digital technologies as key enabler for circular economy, looking for new perspective on the future of manufacturing. The world calls for rethinking the economy in a more sustainable and inclusive way. It is therefore an absolute priority for us to adapt our industrial system to this need, boosting digitalization and circular economy. I strongly believe that the World Manufacturing Forum will provide us with useful information and evaluation to imagine new path for manufacturing. Innovation and digitalization in the manufacturing sector and in the economic system in general are top priorities for our government. Italy has an historical tradition in manufacturing. As the global attractiveness index of the European house Ambrosetti, which is one of the most prestigious ranking indexes for economy and competitiveness and attractiveness of country, has ranked Italy in the 20th position among 148 countries. It is important to underline that no country shows a simultaneous conditions of balance in terms of dynamism, sustainability and growth expectation, as Italy does. The data provide a realistic picture on our excellencies and strength. In fact, Italy is the first European country for number of manufacturing SMEs, one of the 5 countries in the world with a manufacturing surplus of more than $100 billion, the second in Europe and the 4th in the world in terms of added value in the manufacturing sector. It also ranked first in the world for luxury and for the manufacturing of sectors of wearing apparel, footwear and textile, second in transport, electronics, manufacturing production. So these are strong points of our economy. Although the Italian manufacturing system experienced a period of crisis in 2020 during the pandemic, the decrease was less than 9.3%, a better figure that we had expected. In addition, our export responded very well and strongly to the pandemic crisis. And according to the Italian Trade Agency report on international trade, this shows a steady increase in export, which is strengthening our economy. Moreover, due to the resilience of our manufacturing sectors, we expect the revenues to exceed the threshold of 1,000 billion euros in the next 2 years. I represent here the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, so I would like to give you a brief picture of the governance of the FDI sector in Italy, and in particular the crucial role that is played by our diplomatic and consular network together with the network of the Italian Trade and Investment Agency in the world. The Italian MFA, the ministry with its network of embassies and consulates, play a very important role in scouting, intercepting and in the attraction of foreign investors, because we have a privileged contact and dialogue with the financial and business community in the countries where we operate in international market. And the Italian Trade and Investment Agency has 78 offices abroad who play this role together with the embassies. And on top of this, we have 26 dedicated resources in terms of desks or analysts who work specifically in intercepting and attracting foreign investment to our country. The objective is to keep, to realize a strong interest in the perspective of investors for investment opportunities in Italy, in a phase characterized by a deep crisis of FDI flows worldwide. At the same time, it is crucial to carry out a broad communication campaign to highlight Italy and what we call the Made in Italy, which is, we believe, the main asset for attracting foreign investors and entrepreneurs for abroad. And to highlight all the factors of attractiveness for our country. It was mentioned by Marco, advanced manufacturing, industry 4.0, 5.0, our skilled labor, and special incentives and tools that our government and our agencies are putting in place to attract investment. In general terms, we believe that foreign investments are strategic instruments in the economic growth because they are strengthening as well the capacity of export of domestic companies, increasing their level of technology innovation, and last but not least, it is a very important boost for job creation. Regarding the governance of attraction of foreign investment, let me mention that the recent reform on the attribution of portfolio on international trade and investment has put the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation at the center of the economic policy. Our ministry, therefore, with the Italian Trade Agency, operates in joint partnership with the Ministry of Economic Development and the agency Invitalia, which is the agency for the promotion of the enterprise and for financial incentives. So we have in our system two ministries, two agencies that work on the domestic side to prepare the package of investment opportunities, to assist and accompany the investors and to provide the incentives to the investors. And on international markets, we have the network of diplomatic missions and the Italian Trade Agency offices for scouting, intercepting investors and attracting them to Italy and promote the investment opportunities. Although we are all different entities, as it happens many times in Italy, we are a very coordinating and integrated group and we work together. And this is demonstrated by some big strategic investments from abroad that we are dealing in this moment in very, very strategic sectors of our economy. We have on top of this a committee for the attraction of foreign investment, which is composed by Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Economic Development, Public Administration, Economy and Finance, and two agencies who deal with one side to have a fast track for a very high value investment and significant investment which have a significant economic impact on the Italian market. And we try to assist and support them to speed up the process of implementation of their operations in Italy. And on the other side, this committee provides the framework for elaborating proposals to simplify the business climate, which is, by the way, another priority in this particular phase of our economy for the government of Italy within the National Plan for Recovery and Resilience funded by the European Union with the 220 billion euro that are arriving from the European Union to support our economy. This is very important because we have to make the life of investors easy. We are working together with other ministries and with the President's office to elaborate overall strategy to speed up the projects, both the projects in the plan for resilience and recovery, which are mainly public projects, public investment, but this will be a boost. We have to be aware of this for attraction of more private investments, because through the plan, through the national plan, we are going to improve the overall condition of the country, the infrastructure of the country, and this will create new positive assets and attractiveness for prospective investments. By saying this, I would like again to thank the organizers of the World Manufacturing Forum, the Italian Trade Agency, Invitalia, and most of all the regions that are making a tremendous effort to prepare the package of investment opportunities. So I wish you a fruitful continuation of networking in this context. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Massimiliano. Now, before getting in deep on the contents, incentives, and local opportunity, I will take just 5 minutes in order to underline some pinpoints on why you should evaluate Italy for your investment project. Obviously, Marco helped me to explain why Italy is strong in the manufacturing. But I mean, in a snapshot, Italy has a lot of point of strength within the manufacturing. Obviously, I don't need to talk about the main sector like luxury sector, fashion, design, but maybe not all of you know that we are the first producer of pharmaceutical in Europe. We are strong in aerospace and defense. We are a land of beauty and research and development. We have a strong university. And we are strong in R&D in many fields. Last but not least, we are also in a very strategic position, the gateway for Europe and the Mediterranean area. It's not strange, therefore, that according to the Kearney Confidence Index, we are in the top 10 among the most attractive countries. We are 8 in this year, but probably you don't know that this period is the first time in the last 25 years. So we are much more attractive than in the past. Why? Because we did some homework. For example, according to the Digital Tax Index, we are one of the most competitive country for effective tax burdens for digital investment. And this is probably something that seems strange. We are strong in the quality of our human resource. Most of the investors that are investing in Italy are investing because of the quality of our human resource, mainly in the manufacturing sector and in the research and development. And the cost comparing to other countries is even lower, so it's very competitive. Probably it's not known that even comparing the corporate income tax, I mean, we are not obviously Ireland, that's not our position, but I mean, we are in the average of the other competitor. So we think that we'll do other homework, but the homework that we did are good enough, at least to evaluate an investment in Italy. Today and later on, we'll introduce investment opportunity in different fields, in different sectors, greenfield and brownfield, cluster, hubs, but also incentives. We help you to identify the high quality of the human capital, and last but not least, we have a support service free of charge. We have a support service free of charge that we build up with an Italian ecosystem. Massimiliano already explained the governance of our support of our investors. We work together with Invitalia. We are the front office abroad. Invitalia is supporting through the process in Italy, but we are also working with the regional level, with the region, and that's why today we have 5 regions that will introduce the effort that are doing to attract more investment. We are supporting investors together with national and local agency and obviously all the ministry. We have a 78th office in the world, so you are very welcome to go in the office of your country and meet our expert. In 23 of those countries, we have specialized persons fully dedicated to investors. We will be 26 before the end of the year. Please use our office in order to better understand what are the opportunities that we can provide, what are our strengths and the service that we can provide to you in order to facilitate your investment. I don't want to lose much more time because we go in deep in the contents, and the first content that I introduce is from Invitalia, our partner in the Invest in Italy project, and Marco D'Acunto, Senior Project Manager from Invitalia, will give the next speech. Marco, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Stefano. Good morning to you all. My name is Marco D'Apunto and I'm part of the Invest in Italy team, and I work for Invitalia. I'm waiting for my slides. Thank you. So next slide, please. Today, I would like to give you an overview of the key services incentives we can provide to foreign companies in order to support their investments in our country. Well, let's start from services. We provide a full range of services throughout the entire investment process, from pre-investment information to the final setup of your project. Our services include location scouting and site visit, financial incentive advisory. We support companies for obtaining permits and authorizations, including work permits, in order to speed up the investment process. We provide market and sector research and analysis. We also support companies for their recruitment needs, thanks to our collaboration with local placement agencies and with the network of the excellent Italian universities. Moreover, we provide also very useful and customized liaison to companies with the key Italian stakeholders, including industrial associations, R&D centers, high-tech clusters, universities, and so on. Next slide, please. Well, when it comes to incentives, Italy can offer a wide range of measures, schemes, and opportunities to foreign investors. Here you can see the key incentives and fiscal benefits available at the moment in our country. They are grouped in 4 categories. There are large investments, schemes, and opportunities to invest in area of industrial crisis. There are fiscal benefits, including tax credits, as well as patent box and employment bonuses, measures dedicated to boost R&D activities and investments, and other schemes dedicated to strengthen the investments of SMEs and innovative startups. Next slide. Today, I would like just to provide you with a quick overview, a quick insight of 3 measures. 2, the development contract Smart and Start Italy, are 2 upon request scheme directly managed by Invitalia. And the 3rd are tax credits included in the National Plan Industry 4.0. Next slide. Let's start with the development contract. This scheme is dedicated to large industrial investment with a minimum value of 20 million euros. Beneficiaries can be a single company or more company with different but interconnected projects. Invitalia provide assistance before the application in order to support the company in the fine-tuning of its project proposal, and the eligibility evaluations carried out by our agency within 120 days. The project can start immediately after the application and has to last a maximum time of 3 years. You can see on the right the eligible expenses that are the traditional expenses related to the manufacturing project. Please note that costs for employees and general expenses are eligible only for the R&D project that can be associated to the key manufacturing investment program. Next slide. When it comes to aids, development contract can provide both grants and soft loan. Here in the chart, you can see in this table the maximum aid intensity provided when it comes to grants. It varies on the basis of 2 factors: the company size and the geographical location. Smaller is the company, higher is the benefit according to the European Union aid framework, state aid framework. Just to give you an example, a medium company investing in southern regions can benefit from a grant of 35%, referred, of course, to the total eligible expenses. Then in central and northern regions, in listed cities, it can have 20% of grant, and the rest of Italy 10%. Please note that large companies in several areas belonging to central and northern Italy, it is the third line, can't be supported for manufacturing activity, while R&D activity, please look at the final line, can be supported everywhere nationwide. Next slide, please. Let me spend some more words about R&D activities. So first of all, we said they are eligible for development contract, but as long as they comply with the basic requirement, they have to be associated to an industrial development program. Beneficiaries are both companies and research organizations, including universities. What is important to underline that large company, as the example Lamborghini, can be supported for R&D activities everywhere, so without restrictions referred to geographical locations. So the case of Lamborghini that is mentioned here on the slide shows that Lamborghini, it is of course a large company that invested a few years ago in Emilia-Romagna, in a location where a large company can't be supported for manufacturing activity, could receive a very remarkable aid for its R&D investment program of almost 50 million euros. Next slide. Well, in the slide you can see several figures showing how the development contracts has been performing very well over the last few years, supporting total investments of 7 billion euros. Many projects were financed, and many of them, over 40, were implemented by foreign investors. You can also see several examples refer to large and leader multinationals investing in our country, like Sanofi, we mentioned Lamborghini, Avio Aero, Nestlé, Hitachi, that invested successfully in our country thanks to the development contract. Next slide, please. Well, here let me spend just a few words about another incentive scheme managed by Invitalia and referred to a different target. Here, this measure aims to boost the creation growth of innovative startups in our country. It works nationwide, it is an upon request scheme, and the investment range varies between 100,000 euros to 1.5 million euros. The project has to be implemented in maximum 2 years, and the evaluations carried out by Invitalia in only 60 days. Beneficiaries are innovative startups already established in our country or willing to set up in Italian territory. Startups dedicated to high-tech activities, and with an important requirement that they have to be established for no more than 16 months, so 5 years. The aid provided in this case is an interest-free loan up to 80% of the total investment. But there is an additional benefit for companies investing in southern Italian region. In this case, startups have to repay only the 70% of the loan. It means that the 30% of the loan turns into a grant. Next slide, please. Well, last measures are the tax credits. I would like to spend some words because they are very effective and they are very appreciated by companies for 2 main reasons, let's say. First, that the companies can apply automatically, so there is no evaluation procedure. And second reason, that there are no restrictions, I mean, in terms of geographical location, of company size, and sector of activities of the company. So every company can basically apply for tax credits nationwide. They are part of, they have been included in the recovery plan. And so they are very significant measures to support your investments. In the slide, you can see the range of tax credits dedicated to tangible and intangible assets. the focus is on Industry 4.0 assets. Let me just give you an example. In the first line of the table, a company investing in Industry 4.0 tangible assets can receive a tax credit of 50% this year, 40% the next year for the first tranche of investment up to 2.5 million euros. And then there are additional tax credit for the following investment tranche up to 20 million euros. Next slide, please. I will be very quick. There is here we have another range of tax credits dedicated in this case to R&D and innovation activities, including also design and also innovation in green economy field. An example, the first line, you can see that companies investing in fundamental research, both fundamental industrial research and experimental development, can benefit from a tax credit of 20% for investments up to 4 million euros. Next slide. Thank you very much for your attention and your time. I'm available for further information, so do not hesitate to write me. I will be more than happy to support your companies. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. We just over with the national part. Now we go deeply on the regional level. We have different regional representatives that will introduce what are the opportunity and the support that they can provide within the territory. So let's start from the Lombard region, 20% of the Italian GDP. We have with us Marco Fedato from Promos Italia. Marco, the stage is yours.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thanks again for this invitation. It's always a pleasure attending a More Manufacturing Forum. As you have said, this year with some more physics than so digital, let's say, but it's good to be all together here again. So we can start with our short presentation. Thank you. We have chosen this title, let's say, Manufacturing of Tomorrow is here, meaning that manufacturing of tomorrow is already today. We have a lot of applications in Lombardy, showing how much of this future application are already part of our development nowadays, and I'll be happy to share with you some of those to make you understand how we can make these advantages in technologies and these already existing developments be part of your project of development and investment in Italy and in Lombardy in particular. Thanks. We can go to the next one. In relation to the main facts and figures of the region, let me just say a couple of those. I would like to point out the numbers of the companies we have in manufacturing. I'm sure you're all aware of the importance of the region as a gateway for Italy and for Europe. But let me concentrate on the numbers of companies, more than 100,000 in manufacturing. So showing you the business environment you find in the region. The numbers of companies in particular in mechatronics. So you see more than 70,000 companies just in mechatronics. So showing you the switch to the technologies the overall manufacturing sector is facing. And of course, since we're talking to an audience of international companies, let me just remind you how many foreign companies we have in the region in manufacturing itself. So more than 1,600 companies. Next slide, please. I think the most important goal we have today is to share with you what are the applications you can find in our territory. You see in the left side of the slide the macro sectors we are focusing on as a regional strategy to find the investors. So we go from the life science to the automotive. But within those macro sectors, what are the main advanced manufacturing applications we are developing? And when I say we are developing, I mean we are developing as a region, together with universities, with the companies, of course, with the main associations, with the scientific park. So the region is expressing, as I said at the beginning, some of those manufacturers that are not future development, but are already present development. So we go from the advanced polymers. So how much the engineering innovation is being applied to polymers through robotic and smart components. So an increasing numbers of, as I said, mechatronic companies working in these fields. Of course, AI applied to very diversified sectors, as we have heard from Stefano, not just mechanic itself, but we go from pharmaceutical to aerospace to chemical, of course, and to automotive. Professor Taj mentioned the importance of digitalization, environmental concerns, and we find them in the application we see in manufacturing. So we see the increasing importance of e-mobility in the region. Then I'll show you some examples. And we have seen recently these days how much Italy is doing, and we lead the ranking as a country in recycling. Of course, Lombardy is a leading region in itself in this field. And of course, how we can do better in recycling, in which we're already doing well, we can do even better by introducing increasing technological advantages and processes into recycling materials. And then, of course, last but not least, what we are doing with the additive manufacturing, so everything related to 3D. Next slide, please. Just a few words on key players on those 6 fields of application. It's important to see that we have fields of application in which we have excellences. We have mentioned just a few for your information here. You see they span from big corporation, multinational companies, to Italian SMEs increasing a lot, to Italian multinational. Next slide, please. In particular, we have just summarize some examples that really in a few words, because timing's running fast. We have seen experiences in projects all across the pandemic period. So no matter the problem with the pandemic, we have seen projects that started before the pandemic in 2019 and are still going on in 2021 after having in any case, faced, of course, a lot of troubles in 2020, but that are still in the process of succeed. So we have seen a lot of application to the steel industries. So one of the most traditional and heavy industries in which technology is absolutely a new protagonist. We've seen how much companies like ABB, so giants, are actually implementing completely technological-based production plant in Lombardy. And let me just mention an example on mobility. So with F&M, so the Lombardy region company for mobility that is actually promoting a kind of a hydrogen valley applied to the mobility. So what I would like to show you is the fact that we're applying those technologies to very different fields of application, from the very heavy industry to the e-mobility. Next slide, please. If it's not already clear from what I said, let me please just remind you of what are the competitive advantages behind those processes. Because if you see those applications and those technologies making increasing Rome in development, is because we have competitive advantages behind. A huge, incredible business environment mentioned with cluster and district is what I mentioned, in particular with an existing dedicated association, the so-called Intelligent Factory in Lombardy. The numbers of skilled workforce, now we have more than 200,000 specialized employees in this, and this comes with the education and research excellences, 7 universities in this field and 8 research centers. And of course, fortunately, competitive advantages in terms of cost, at least related to the main European competitors. Next slide, please. Very final 2 words in order to wrap up my presentation. I would like again to point out the importance of the business environment we have. And the business environment where what we want to promote more and more is the capacity the system has to put together all the efforts, going from hubs, private hubs, to incubators and accelerators, through R&D centers, which are public and private. So this is just an example in a snapshot of what we have in some of the main sectors of application: life sciences, aerospace, and advanced manufacturing. And of course, next slide, please. In what we do every day with our service, we're happy to show you more of what we do. We are assisting companies for 10 years now. We have more than 200 companies assisted every year. I would be happy, in particular, for those of you that are connecting from abroad, to go and have a look at our new website, which has just been launched a few weeks ago, in which you find all of this and much more. So thanks again for the opportunity, and happy to hear all the other regions presented.
Marco, thanks Marco. From Lombardy region, we switched to a region close to the Lombardy region, that is a land of smart manufacturing. It's well known for the Motor Valley, but not just for that. We have with us Gianandrea Esposito from Arter for the Emilia-Romagna. Gianandrea, the stage is yours.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. It's a great pleasure. And yes, I'm part of the Invest in Emilia-Romagna team, managed by Arter, the regional development agency, on behalf of the regional government. I will focus my presentation on smart manufacturing, and we will see that there are many opportunities for new investments in this sector. Next slide, please. Well, yes, Emilia-Romagna is close to Lombardy and is in northeast Italy. We have seen in introduction that manufacturing is very important in Italy, very competitive. Emilia-Romagna is the average, the share of industry employment on the total is even higher than the national one, and also the European or the European average. This strong manufacturing vocation supported a very strong innovation ecosystem. We are very proud to be, according to European Regional Innovation Scoreboard in this year, to be considered the first region in Italy for innovation. But this is actually the result of this strong vocation and many years of political commitment to support the ecosystem. Besides that, we can see that we are in a very strategic position to access European and Mediterranean market. Next slide, please. Well, one many important a feature of the Emilia-Romagna system is its ability to create spillovers from the public sector and the private one. A European data valley is just one example. On one side, we have very powerful resources, like most powerful computers in the world. The new data center of European Center for Medium Weather Forecast opened just in September 2000 of this year, and this area of Technopole in Bologna is just the core of a transformation that is already ongoing in the region. On one side, we have a public investment. On the other side, we have private companies in Industry 4.0 sectors that are collaborating with university, that are part of cluster association, that are communities of company, R&D laboratories, and training institutions. And yes, we are very strong in Motor Valley. And another example, this public-private partnership is the Motor Vehicle University of Emilia-Romagna, where we find the top brands and university working together to attract and create new talents for our system. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. Yes, our system is very much export oriented. We are the first region in Italy for export per capita, but it's important to highlight that even in the last 2 years, in COVID times, our export is still is already in a growing trend. So we have already recovered the flexion of the 2020, and this shows the resilience of our manufacturing system. Of course, mechanical engineer is the main sector as concerned exports, but it's cross-cutting all the other key sectors. So it's boosting the whole innovation of the region. Exports are almost double of the imports, and there is also strong commitment towards sustainability. We have a pact for labor and climate signed by 55 regional stakeholders, and this shows our ability as a region to create a system. So you are not only investing in a single business park, you are investing here in a much wider system. Next slide, please. Well, we are also proud to see that some of the most important foreign investment in Italy in the last years are in Emilia-Romagna. As concerns smart manufacturing, we attracted the investment of Philip Morris, but the important thing is that after investing, the companies here find the good business environment to expand their investment. Philip Morris is creating in this now an institute for manufacturing competencies, providing skills and talents for Industry 4.0. So they found here a good environment, not only for their own company, but other examples are IMA that represent another very strong specialization of the packaging machinery, along with many other companies. The region supporting a project to for the digitalization of the whole supply and value chain, not only the company. So the whole system is innovating together, not just the top, not just the top company. And the machinery sector is very wide and very cross-cut with other key sectors, is represent a very important asset, besides excellences like automotive and packaging, and also some very important niche like wellness. We have an excellence like technology, investing a lot in application and digitalization of sport gear. Next slide, please. Well, so our value proposition is it's focused on our ability as a system to create synergies. So we, of course, have a wide offer of location, but we can also provide a network with the local actors in order that your investment will respect the deadlines that you have fixed. And we have one of few regions with a specific regional law for the promotional investments. This shows our commitment to attract investments. At the same time, you've seen the example of Lamborghini. We attracted Lamborghini in Emilia-Romagna. Lamborghini was already in Emilia-Romagna, but it was acquired by a foreign group. And then you can see that we have a strong collaboration with the national actors to manage also national incentives. Okay, the other key factors are already mentioned before. So next slide, please. This is a practical, an example of a business opportunity, one of the many business opportunities you may have in Emilia-Romagna. Besides Philip Morris, another important investment that we attractive in Emilia-Romagna is FAV, Silkev. It's an investment in electric vehicles. And this is actually a sector in which the whole Motor Valley is moving towards. So when we see at the Motor Valley, we don't need to see like something like a traditional cluster, but it's strongly innovating. Also with the strong collaboration with aerospace sector, like Dallara is also collaborating with the Houston Space Platform. But once again, our ability to create a system, we attracted the AVL investment through our regional law. And we created together with AVL a regional board for batteries for electric vehicles. Thanks to this initiative, we attracted the investment of Borg-Warner, American multinational that is now in Emilia-Romagna producing battery packs for electric vehicles. So this is another example on how here in Emilia-Romagna you can find opportunities to expand your investment. Of course, this is together with our growing commitment for promoting our location with Invest Emilia-Romagna Real Estate. There is a specific website providing some of the opportunities that you may have, but of course, and next slide, please. Of course, there is our contact point that is providing support as concern incentives, regional and national incentives. We find the best solution for your investment together, but we support the finding of a location, and all our activities, of course, are free of charge. And I work with a team, and we are looking forward to hearing for new proposals. So here are our contacts, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Gian Andrea. Okay. Thank you for your presentation. In the middle of Italy, there is a region that is not that big, but is very, very competitive, and this region is Umbria region. Together with us, we have Michela Sciurpa from Sviluppo Umbria. Michela, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for the today opportunity to share with you some important information on the possibility to invest in our region. I'm the sole administration of the Umbrian Agency for Economic Development. I'm going to present you some slides, please. Umbria is a very green region at the center of Italy, Europe, and the Mediterranean Sea. Its central location in terms of logistics and roads, an hour and a half from Civitavecchia, an hour from Ancona, with rapid connection to Florence and Rome, makes it a key junction for goods and people. It covers an area of 8,450 square kilometers with a low population density. Thanks to the presence of important cultural attractions, universities, and institutes of higher education, it has a high quality of life and a lively economic dynamism with a high entrepreneurial density. It is fertile ground for developing new businesses, not only in traditional sectors like mechanics, textiles, home furnishing, and artistic handcrafts and tourism, but also in those of the green economic, as in the case of the project we are presenting today. Next slide, please. The Umbrian Bioeconomy District Sustainable Valley is a project that the Umbria region is promoting for the conversion and revitalization of crisis areas, with particular reference to the Terni chemical hub. The strategy to revitalize the Terni industrial site aims to create a highly competitive center specialized in bioeconomy and biomaterials, which can become one of the first industrialized sites to be totally decarbonized. It is a process of economic specialization for the creation of circular bioeconomy chains through the integration of the biomaterials chain with that of the agricultural sector. The strategic relaunch plan identifies as key elements enhancing and renewing the assets and characteristics of the territory, strengthening the innovation ecosystem by implementing the principles of the circular economy, a shared approach for industrial redevelopment and regeneration of the territory involving citizens, institutions, and businesses. Next slide, please. The challenge of the strategic relaunch plan is based on the creation of a self-sustainable ecosystem that facilitates the upscaling of processes through the synergy between companies, university, and research center of excellence. The close collaboration between companies and research centers aims at developing integrated and circular supply chains, particularly those based on synergies between companies producing biomaterials and agricultural companies. Chains created according to the principles of the circular economy, operating in accordance with all the values of sustainability, which accelerate the transition of individual companies toward the green economy. For the relaunch of the chemical hub, so that it can be competitive, attractive, and strengthen its potential, the strategy provides for areas of intervention, which are enhance common infrastructure, functional to circularity and compliance with environmental requirements, including energy, logistics, and sewage plant infrastructure. Strengthening technical and technological skills through the implementation of training courses for young technicians and researchers, and for workers in transition to the bioeconomy and industry 5.0, with the strengthening of ETS academy courses in the bioeconomy. The creation of a hub for sustainability involving all the players in the ecosystem, in particular businesses, research bodies, and education system. The hub will be charged with generating innovation and research on sustainability and the circular economy by testing a methodology for the systemic development of collaborative projects between companies and research centers, aimed at increasing the level of sustainability of the production system, while at the same time having an impact on the territory, both in terms of reducing environmental impact and increasing qualified employment, and more generally contributing to improving the quality of life. Support for the process of technology transfer from research center to businesses, and also from one company to another, with a particular involvement of new initiatives for entrepreneurship and startups. Identifying and training new skills to facilitate the ecological transition, creating close interconnection between the business system and the education and training system, and the assistance to develop investment projects to be implemented through public-private partnership. Next slide, please. The territory has a strong industrial history, consolidated in the chemical center dedicated to the production of polypropylene. Thanks to more than a century of experience, the area has high technical and technological skills in the chemical and biochemical sector. There is a large area undergoing redevelopment and efficiency improvements. Important international players in the sector are already located there, and they can be a driving force for the growth of the supply chain. Companies like Novamont and Ulio, Miracrom, Target, and Alcantara are also located nearby. The tradition in the chemical sector has allowed the development of an excellent research system in the study of polymeric and biopolymeric materials. The main advantages of locating the chemical cluster are the availability of skilled labor deriving both from the industrial vocation of the area and from important technical skills acquired over the years. The presence in the area of leading companies in the chemical and biomaterial sectors, which, thanks to the relaunch strategy, will play the role of accelerators of this development and technological innovation in the leading companies already established in the area. High level of research expertise and the availability of a vast area and infrastructure that will be upgraded and made more efficient with a view to sustainability and circularity. The development strategy for the biomaterial supply chain integrated with the agricultural sector, the location near the main roads and railway, the activation of a specific financial instrument aimed at supporting the creation and development of innovative startups on biomaterial technology and circular economy, and activation of business incubation and acceleration services with the support of Sviluppo Umbria and specialized operator. Next slide. I thank you very much for your attention. Here you find the email of the responsible for foreign direct investment, and I thank you very much for your attention again.
Thank you for your presentation. We switch to the south part of Italy. The south part of Italy is a land where the manufacturing join the good weather, the good food, and the quality of the life, but we have strong excellency within the manufacturing. And one of the region that can express better than this excellency is definitely the Campania region. Together with us, we have Fortuna Gentile from Sviluppo Campania. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to participate in this event. I am Fortuna Gentile from Sviluppo Campania, the investment promotion agency of Campania region. So I wish to give you some interesting information to decide why invest in Campania. Can I see my presentation, please? Thank you. Next, please. Okay. Campania has a population of 5,700,000 inhabitants, the third region in Italy. Naples is the third Italian metropolitan areas. GDP of euro 110 billion and export of euro 12 billion. The Campania region can count on a transport infrastructure that connects Campania to the rest of Europe and to the Mediterranean area. Motorways and rail links for an easy connection to the heart of Europe, such as France, Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. Harbor, the third gateway port in Italy for container traffic, with connection to Mediterranean, North and South America, Turkey, India, and China. Airports with direct international and international destination. Next, please. Let us now examine the manufacturing sector. Next, please. Okay, an added value of approximately euro 10 billion. 10% of the regional GVA, growing steadily higher than the Italian average growth. Next, please, sorry. Okay, thank you. A workforce plus of 180,000 workers, a positive evolution compared to a national average. We have 4 macro sectors. The distribution of company for each macro sector is food 20%, clothing and leather 19%, transport industry, automotive, aerospace and rail 30.5%, metallurgy and metal products 13.5%. Among the first region in Italy in its key sector, transport equipment, we are the third Italian region, of which aerospace second in Italian region, rail first in Italian region, and automotive second in Italian region. We have also food and clothing and leather. Now, next, please. I want to introduce the innovation ecosystem. Training. 5 universities with engineering courses. Training Hub of Naples, San Giovanni a Teduccio, used as a training center of excellence by worldwide leaders such as Apple, Cisco, Deloitte, Hitachi, and TIM. Research and innovation, plus 40 research centers in life science, chemicals, electronics, materials, and 7 cluster organizations focused on the key regional manufacturing sector. Campania was the first region in Italy to adopt a specific law to support the competitiveness of the manufacturing sector in Industry 4.0 key. Home of Meditech, a competence center focused on Industry 4.0 and of an intelligent factory technological platform offering facility and equipment for companies involved in the implementation of Industry 4.0 programs. For further information about Industry 4.0, you can use the link showing this page. Next, please. Next, please. Campania has competitive operating cost, labor, land, and buildings lower than the Italian average, which is lower than the Western European average. Financial and tax incentives for investment in manufacturing and research development. Highest level of incentives to manufacturing projects in Western Europe. Highest level up to 25% of total investment for large group, up to 35% for medium-sized company and 45% for small company. Research and development tax credit, 20% of eligible expenses, up to a maximum amount of euro 4 million in industrial research and experimental development. Next, please. A special economic zone, ZES Campania, has recently been established in Campania. The ZES is managed by a dedicated commissioner who acts as the main interlocutor for investment. Investment programs can benefit from a simplified and accelerated administrative process thanks to a single authorization. Specific incentives are available in the ZES. A tax credit, 25% of the total investment for large group, 35% for medium-sized company, and 45% for small company, up to euro 100 million. The Campania region has created the territorial information system containing all the information about the land and the buildings available. In the slide, you can see the link where you can have more information. Next, please. The Campania region, through its dedicated agency, Sviluppo Campania, promotes foreign investment in the region, assisting companies all along the process. The activity is information and advice about doing business in Italy and in the region, like infrastructure, sector, cost, incentives. Introduction to the local authorities, potential partner, service provider. Assistance to identify the best sites to mobilize the incentives.
Please a bit speed up, please. Thanks.
Next, please. Okay, we have several foreign players in Campania, like Stellantis has created 4,481 jobs, Leonardo, Adler Plastic, and Proma. Next, please. For further information, we are available to the contacts indicated in this slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. Now we switch to the northeast part of Italy, where there is a land that is small but efficient and very dedicated to the manufacturing. We are talking about Friuli Venezia Giulia, and together with us we have Lidia Alessio Verni from the Agenzia Lavoro e Sviluppo Impresa. Lidia, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefano. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much to the Italian Trade Agency and Invitalia for inviting us to this important forum. It's a pleasure to be here today and to illustrate you some opportunities to invest in Friuli Venezia Giulia. I am head of Agenzia Lavoro Sviluppo Impresa, which is our regional investment development agency. So I think we can start with our presentation, with our slides. Please go to the next one. Thank you. What is very important to point out, first of all, is that I would like you to focus your attention on our strategic position. We are a small region in the northeast of Italy. Our region covers more or less 8,000 square kilometers, and we have a 1.2 million population. But we can be your gate for the Central Europe market and for the Eastern Europe market. In fact, we are a strategic hub in the center of Europe. We have 11 European countries and non-European capitals within a 600 kilometers radius. And the region so plays a key role linking the Mediterranean to the Central and Eastern Europe. And this is also due to a very efficient infrastructure system, which includes, and I will list some of our data, but then you can find it, and we will leave all this documentation to the staff. We have more than 3,600 kilometers of road connected to the Austrian and Slovenian highway networks, 500 kilometers of railway lines, and several daily connections with Rome, Milan, Turin, Ljubljana, Vienna, Munich. We have one regional airport and 3 others about 1 hour drives from our major cities, and 5 intermodal terminals, Trieste, Cervignano, Pordenone, Gorizia, and Pontebba on our territory. And also we have 3 ports, including the free port of Trieste, which is the only international free port in Europe with special facilities. So it is no surprise that we are an international, a really international and open region. Please, we can go to the next slide. And we have also a specific business environment. Friuli Venezia Giulia is one of the major manufacturing regions in Italy, especially for mechanical and steel engineering, for household goods, maritime technologies, smart health industry, agri-food production, and of course, logistics due to our strategic position. We have 6 industrial parks that host more than 1,200 companies and 7 clusters that can provide companies with a contact point, information services, and contribute to your settlement in our region. Friuli Venezia Giulia has been the first Italian region ranked as a strong innovator since 2019 by the European Official Regional Innovation Scoreboard. And this is not surprising when you look at the numbers of our innovative startups and also international researchers and density of employment in research and development. So we can say we are really a special environment as far as research and development is concerned. We are an autonomous region with a spatial status, and this means that we have fiscal and financial autonomy. We have a high rating, and a lower tax burden compared to Italy. Of course, we can also add some specific incentives to the national ones that our colleagues have illustrated before. So please, we can go to the next slide. We try to explain with this scheme some of the regional specific incentives that we can provide in our region. We have structured a system of facilities that really can support your investment in our region. And they consist of regional services, loans, subsidized financing, incentives, and special tax exemption. We have some examples. Friulia is our regional financing entity, and to strengthen companies' capitalization. They make minority investments in joint stock companies operating in Friuli Venezia Giulia and can provide development investment, promoting also shareholding continuity. They also can finance with special investments related to investment rate. But in this field, the more important instrument that we can use is our regional rotation fund for economic initiatives. It can provide special loans with minimum interest rates. Here we have an example, 0.45% for financing over 7.5 million euros investments. Then we have special incentives for new settlements for companies that are planning new production settlements in our region. Of course, this incentives is based on your specific business plan, but it can be up to a maximum 10% eligible costs for big size companies. And of course, this percentages can be really increased for the medium and small companies. We also provide grants for R&D projects, and this kind of grants are based on specific projects for research, development, and innovation. The calls are open periodically, and they're going to open in the next few weeks and over the next programming period. What is also very important is that our region has a very high intensity of workers in the R&D field. And for example, we have over 7,000 researchers arrived in our region from abroad in 2019. And because we have a very rich environment as far as research centers are concerned. But if you need to attract new talents in scientific, technological, engineering, and mathematical disciplines, we also provide subsidies to highly qualified personnel, moving their residents to our region to work in new companies. Last but not least, there is a specific incentive for regional tax. It means that regional tax on production activities is not due for the first 3 years for new settlement, and it is reduced in the next following 2 years. So this is some of the regional benefits that we can provide to help new investors investing in our region. We can go to the next slide.
So, sorry, we have 1 minute, still 1 minute, so please speed up.
Sufficient.
Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
As far as for the business opportunity, we have a variety of settlement opportunities in the region. They are located within our 6 regional industrial parks that I mentioned before. The industrial parks are handled by regional consortia. They are public economic entities, and they can support the creation and development of production activities in the manufacturing sector and ensuring really high level services and economic efficiency. We have both greenfield and brownfield lots. They are equipped with advanced infrastructures, and they have some main characteristics in common. For example, they are all positioned at the intersection of the main communication routes. And all the companies that settle in those industrial parks will have a framework of modern environmental sustainability and organization support. So we can really go very quickly through the next slides just to show you that we have this regional network of industrial parks, and where you can find facilities specific for the manufacturing sector. And we pointed out the top accessibility of all those sites. So we can really go very, very quickly through the next slides that show you in concrete numbers the minutes driving from these industrial parks to all our logistic network. And so we can really very quickly skip all those slides where you can find precise information about accessibility. Okay, so we can go very, very quickly through this one and leave you to the next. Please go through, okay. You can see all data about these 6 industrial parks. And here the settlement opportunities. So for example, we have greenfield areas, brownfield areas, and we have an average price of 45 euros per square meter. And the average distance from highway is 3 kilometers, from airport is 30 kilometers, and from the port is 30 kilometers. So we hope that you can really take in consideration Friuli Venezia Giulia for its logistic position, for the research and development resources, and for our capacity to support your investment with specific regional support, financing support.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lydia. We switch to the last one. We are asking to be quick. I mean, we have some extra time, but the time is almost over. And it's a land that is well known for the wine, the food, the quality of life, the beauty. But many companies are perfectly aware that is the quality of the production that of this region is very high, and that's why many investors from foreign companies are investing in this region. And the region is Tuscany. Together with us, we have Marco Perrone from the Tuscany region. Marco, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Stefan. It's very kind of you. Thanks to WMF and Italian Trade Agency and to Invitalia to give us this nice opportunity today to briefly introduce Tuscany. I'll be very fast. So I'm with Invest in Tuscany. This is the one-stop shop of the regional government, supporting free of charge and with confidentiality foreign companies willing to start and develop their business in Tuscany. So we can start with a short presentation. Thank you. The region has a long commitment to circular economy issues, and today I'm briefly presenting an example of an in-progress project where partners could look for collaboration with also foreign technology players. It's a focus on the optimization of life cycle of plastics recovered from waste through the application of some digital technologies. Next one, please. This is a simplified life cycle of plastics. I spend a little bit of time on this slide. So plastics are nowadays being fed back into production and user processes at volumes that are far below what is possible to do. If the system were improved, loss of value, dependence on volatile commodities, lower resource productivity, and as well a portion of the environmental pollution could be avoided. In addition, it seems that the demand of plastics will continue to grow. And if we want to achieve an overall strongly needed, let me say, increase the circularity, it's mandatory to dramatically reduce the two rows exiting from the low part of the cycle showed in these slides, namely the prevention of plastics leakage to the environment and the energy recovery from plastics. To this end, there are by now at least 4 mandatory actions that can be implemented. The first one is to design materials with enhanced separation and recycling properties, and to design products as well to encourage reuse. For example, to develop repair solutions to extend a product's lifetime. The second one is to innovate advanced recycling technologies and to retain as much value as possible from plastic waste. The third one is to incorporate alternative feedstock, like biological or carbon-based ones in the production of plastics to reduce in order to decrease the virgin materials usage. The fourth one is to improve new separation technologies to increase the quality of recycled plastics, and at the same time to decrease landfill and incineration, reducing that way the overall plastics environmental footprint. So to address these 4 actions, I can list some technologies to leverage on. For example, digital design for recyclability of materials, and so fast prototyping, augmented reality, data visualization technologies, and 3D printing to predict the behavior of a polymer during all its lifetime. The digital twin technology platforms to constantly monitor and trace and track processes in a 4.0 approach perspective. Then mobile apps, for example, with contents and function allowing citizens to be an active and aware component of this cycle, for example, by rewarding them in doing a better separation of plastics. And the same could be done involving the medium and big retailers with tailored services, like in the north part of Europe is happening. Then optical methods and tags and sensors to identify different kinds of plastics and polymers, such as near infrared, Raman, and laser spectroscopy. Then computer vision can help with robotics to efficiently sort a specific polymer by color, for example. Then X-ray based techniques or electronic gnosis to automatically detect the presence and type of organic fractions that are always inside the plastic batch. Then the most recent blockchain technology platforms that could be used for a sustainable management of plastic waste by making clarity, for example, in property rights, by supporting law and policy goals, by incentivizing sustainable waste management with payment of reward, like I was saying before, by maintaining anonymity and privacy for institutions and individuals, and finally by preventing fraudulent and corrupt practices. Then there is a group of technologies the partnership is searching for, that's to say IoT platforms, big data, AI, cloud services, and machine learning technologies useful to collect, store, integrate, and analyze enormous amount of data generated by processes in many portions of the world cycle. So considering the digitalization requirements in terms of energy consumption and usage of special metals, of the electronic components to do this kind of project, the expected developments above should be coupled with a transition to the energy system, in the energy system by increasing energy efficiency, introducing modularity of electronic components production, sharing of renewables, and recycling properly the e-waste. So that's a long way to go. So we can go to the next slide, please. This challenge on digital circular economy for recycled plastics relies on mainly, first of all, on the Tuscan business and R&D environment and its richness in terms of key skills in information technology, precision mechanics, automation, robotics, and photonics, for example. Secondly, on a consolidated tradition in the scientific and innovation fields, given by a constellation of tech transfer centers connecting enterprises and local universities, research centers, and public administration too. But most of all, this project relies on the openness to foreign investors' initiatives. So this is witnessed by more than 700 multinationals with operation and R&D centers already started in Tuscany. And next one, please. The project also relies on transportation infrastructures, being Tuscany fully connected with Rome and Milan by high-speed trains, crossed by the major highway with Italy, and at the same time, with 2 international airports, 1 commercial harbor, and 3 freight hubs. On the last slide, the next, please. I close this very short presentation with a couple of recent flagship high-tech investments in our region, those of Verizon and Apple, that invest in Tuscany has been supporting. So we are really willing to warmly welcoming other tech players in Tuscany to support the above project I shortly presented, but as well as other investment projects. So please feel free to connect with us to get more information on the business environment I cannot present today because of shortage of time, and on our soft landing program. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks, Marco. We are almost over. Our time is almost over. Just before closing this event, I would like to thank, first of all the speaker, Massimiliano Iacchini with me, the World Manufacturing Forum that hosts this special event, our team in Rome with Paolo Paolocci and Luca Lauro that organize all the activity, and obviously all the participants because of your precious time. We are fully at your disposal within our office abroad, within our office in Rome. We send you our details, so please feel free to contact us. We share the contact with the regional and national level, and we are fully available to support your investment project. And obviously, we expect you in Italy in presence to finalize your investment. Thank you, and see you soon.
Thank you very much.